Is China really gonna block VPNs by 2018? Hi guys, I am here with Ling Ling from Lena Around.
Hey guys.
We have not been in like a sit down and chat together video since a long time.
Since August last year.
Yeah, since August last year.
Way too long.
If you remember, Lena and I did meet in Beijing when I was living there for a couple months. If you want to check out her channel, link is down below. Today, we are talking about a very timely topic. It's something that is all over social media right now, all over the internet, all over every media source. I've been sent the link multiple times. So all this media is about how China has asked telecom companies in China to start cracking down on VPNs for real this time. So they are saying that VPNs are going to be shut down completely, 100% every VPN service. You cannot get onto it by February 2018. And we don't think this is gonna happen.
We don't believe it.
So this this video is about why we don't think that it's gonna happen. So if you're not really sure how VPN works or how the Great Firewall in China works, that whole censorship thing, if it's totally foreign to you, check out the link up this way. To watch our video all about how VPN works, is it illegal, what is it, what's the whole deal. So one of the biggest reasons that we think that this is not gonna happen is travel and tourism and expats and foreigners coming to China. Right. China has been advertising to tourists for years now. It's been part of the 5-year plan to increase tourism to China. I've done a lot of research about how travel into China has grown by like hundreds of % every single year. So it's really hard for me to imagine a world where China just goes, never mind, let's have it decrease by 300% instead this year. Here's the thing, if they shut down VPN, foreigners aren't really gonna wanna go to China. I understand some people like to disconnect, some people wanna get away. That's cool, that's great. But here's the problem. The idea of censorship sparks fear in American people like no other topic.
Europe as well, like Scandinavia. People always tell me that, but how can you be on YouTube when you're in China? Facebook.
Right. And a lot of people say, why China? Why are you so interested in China? Like, why did you go there? Isn't it scary? Because they think that China is scary because there's all these things in place in China, like internet censorship, that they hear about that's really scary to them. The fact that I can tell people, oh, well, you know I have a YouTube channel, right? And I was uploading from China, I was on Facebook every day in China, I was watching tons of videos in China. No, I was not disconnected at all. I had the whole world in front of me on my laptop. That made people a lot more comfortable and a lot more willing to talk about China, to learn about China, and to even think about traveling to China someday. But if they shut down the VPNs, that means that foreigners traveling to China or living in China are completely disconnected from all their familiar social media and all their familiar friends and family. It's so comforting to have social media when you're living abroad. So you might say, you know, well, why can't you just get your family and friends to sign in and get a Chinese social media account or something like that? Unfortunately, on a lot of those kinds of websites, you actually have to have a Chinese ID or a Chinese address.
Yes, or you should be able to speak Chinese because a lot of them are actually not translated. Of course, there's WeChat. WeChat is live in China. Yeah. But apart from WeChat, I think Weibo is also in English. But apart from those two, I'm not sure how many of the other ones are actually in English. So,
and then Skype, you can Skype.
You can Skype, yeah. So you can talk your friends into getting on Skype. I tried that in 2011 when I came the first time because I chose not to bring my smartphone. I wanted to go cold turkey and live in the moment. It's not
please,
good.
I feel
Don't
so
do
disconnected.
that.
Please give it to me.
Don't do it, guys. I also decided not to bring a VPN. Yeah, don't do it. Not cool.
I actually, when I arrived in China, I thought we could get by with just one VPN plan to share with my husband and I with Eric. This is not my husband. But that didn't really work, and I ended up purchasing a VPN plan on the very first night that I spent in China.
I survived a month. But I was on
I survived less than 24 hours. Yeah. Living in the Bay Area, I actually have seen many advertisements for Chinese cities. Nanjing, to go to Shanghai, and advertisements to go to Hangzhou. And then I know this is going to sound super weird, but I'm pretty sure I saw a bus ad for Shenzhen one time. So it's really odd to think about Chinese cities investing in advertisement for tourism. And I can only imagine it's not just in San Francisco. I would think it's all over the US and all over Western media if I had to take a guess.
And it's not cheap.
No, it's not cheap. And some of these partnerships they're doing are really an investment, a huge investment. With this 5-year plan thing that the government has kind of like put in place as the suggestion for, you know, the goals. This is what we want to accomplish in 5 years. And then they say tourism, these cities start investing in tourism. If they just went, never mind, we're taking away VPN, so foreigners will be very uncomfortable and will not feel comfortable coming to China. I don't see it happening.
I cannot see it happening. Another interesting thing is also that China has a Confucius Institute, which are institutes around the world at universities where you can go and learn Chinese, like afternoon classes, evening classes, or you can do a whole degree where that is a part of the degree, which I did actually in Denmark. And they give out free scholarships for China, which I'm talking about more on my channel as well. But it's like, if you're selling your country and free scholarships and you spend so much money on having these institutes abroad, but then you tell them, oh, by the way, when you come here you cannot contact the rest of the world, like nobody's, like it's already hard for them to get rid of the scholarships. But if it's all blocked, and you guys know that the media, the news are like this, you know, it's like on fire. Immediately the whole world would know. People are already, as Lauren said, a little nervous about the whole censorship situation. I've had a lot of followers asking me, but when you go there, if I turn on a VPN, is the police gonna come and like take it down?
Right, that's what I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna come find me. Like I was scared to use VPN.
I thought so too.
If you want some comfort, if you're still in that place of like, I don't understand VPN, you want some comfort, that video that I talked about earlier about how VPN works, that'll let you know all about, you know, how the basics of how VPN works.
Dangerous.
It's not scary. It'll comfort you.
But like, how are they gonna sell these scholarships and these programs and China in general if they block everything? Like nobody is ever gonna choose to go there, and the people who are there already. Can you imagine expats working for embassies?
The next thing. Expats.
Yeah, that's another reason why I don't believe that it's gonna happen, because all these expats in China, they're gonna run. Of course, they're gonna run away as fast as possible as soon as they hear that they're gonna block all VPNs. Like, no, it's not gonna happen. I do not believe it.
I don't think so. I don't think they would risk the death to Chinese tourism, or at least the slow suffocation of Chinese tourism.
No, it would be like going against what they have done for so long.
The thing with expats, you might say, well, China doesn't need expats, but China has been all about getting English teachers to come in and teach English to Chinese kids. Without the expats who speak English,
what are they gonna do?
Who's gonna teach English?
And who's gonna help counsel the children who wants to go to America to study?
That's the other big market for expats, is people who work for these companies that help Chinese students go abroad.
There's such a huge market in education that, no, closing it down, it would just be so dumb. It would literally be like going back in time.
Right, and that is totally where what I was gonna say is that it may not seem like a big deal to restrict access to things like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube that aren't necessary.
Only social media.
But it's not about social media. That's just what Ling Ling and I are obsessed with.
Yeah. But it's also big websites.
Other things, a lot of other things.
Universities.
And, I mean,
search engines.
The internet is my gateway to the rest of the world. And if I had that restricted and censored really heavily, like it would be without VPN in China, I would have had a harder time deciding if I wanted to go to China or not if VPNs didn't exist.
Oh my god, me too. And I feel like a lot of people already think that going to China is like huge. Like, oh my god,
that big of a deal because of VPN.
Yeah, it's like with a VPN, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna survive. Like, it's an adventure, it's a challenge, but still, you'll be fine. But without a VPN, I'm not even sure. I just know. Well, I know that I won't accept it.
Would you move?
I would move. Yeah, I would move to Taiwan. February next year. So, where's Ling Ling now?
Ling Ling's in Taiwan!
Yay!
So, I hope this doesn't happen. If it does, and we look dumb because of it, great. That's fine.
Yeah, you guys are allowed to.
This kind of stuff has happened before, but the Western media has really grabbed onto it this time, so we wanted to... It's bigger than any other time.
Yeah.
don't freak out. It's okay.
Don't freak out.
It's all gonna be
You'll
okay.
be fine. I just purchased my VPN again, ExpressVPN. I just purchased another year just a second ago, actually. I don't believe it's gonna happen. And I purchased for a year, and that's after February 18th.
Right.
And I still believe it's not gonna happen.
ExpressVPN is the one that I used when I was living in China the entire time. That's the one I bought on like my second day there because I couldn't survive. And I'm so glad I went with ExpressVPN because I would talk to a bunch of other expats, and the conversation of which VPN are you on?
Yeah, it's very
always
common
comes
topic.
up. Super common topic. When I said ExpressVPN, they were like, oh, nice. Like that was like one of the good ones.
True.
And when this all went down in January, right? It was this year in January, they said something very similar to what's happening right now.
Yes.
ExpressVPN was not one of the ones that got shut down.
It was not affected at
stuck
all.
around.
I was in China in January, all of January, and I had no problems. I could not feel it whatsoever. I read the news. I was like, oh my god, they're going to shut down my VPN. But nothing happened. I could not feel it at all.
You can always test it for 30 days too, and they'll give you your money back if you don't like it. I would definitely recommend ExpressVPN if you are headed to China and you're very concerned about this VPN issue. Buy yourself some comfort. Link down below. And if you want to hear the other huge reason that we do not think that this is going to happen, check out the video posted right here. It's also linked down below. It is over on Ling Ling's channel, which is youtube.com/LenaAround. She is still living in Beijing, actually. So if you want to see China vlogs and all that kind of stuff, subscribe to her. And also, you can continue hearing about this discussion. More about VPN and more from Ling Ling's perspective about why we don't think this is going to happen. So thank you for watching, you guys. I will see you very soon.
See you soon.
Bye!